Do you ever feel like your greatest strength is your biggest challenge? Let me share what it's like to be constantly analytical and responsive to others. It feels like a superpower at work, but not always the case in my personal life. Hi, I'm Dr. Megan, and I guide people in growing, learning, and cultivating curiosity and connection. Just the other day, I went on a walk with my family that perfectly captures the dilemma I'm talking about here. On the first walk, someone that I was with was having a difficult time, so naturally, I provided more support to them. But as I did that, the other person that I was with started to become upset. So now I feel like I'm bouncing back and forth in the middle, trying to make sure to support one person, but not neglect the other person at the same time. It feels like an emotional ping pong match where I'm just bouncing back and forth and can't really attend to anything, and it's exhausting. Fast forward to a second walk that we went on, and I decided to try a different approach, especially because there were a few more of us walking this time. I quickly decided who to prioritize when both people started talking to me at the same time, and I chose the person I thought would get less upset and directed them to ask a friend that was with us the question that they had. And that almost seemed like a good solution, but it doesn't really touch on the reality of what was going on inside of my body and my head. So even though everything may seem resolved on the surface, inside I'm feeling extremely stressed. My brain is racing and calculating who needs me more in that moment and trying to make sure I'm making the correct decision and covering and analyzing so many things I wasn't even hardly present for the actual conversation that I was having. It's like my analytical nature kicks into overdrive, and I'm so focused on making sure everyone else is supported and happy that I leave myself drained, burnout, and lacking energy. And that's where the real challenge comes in. Do you ever find yourself trying to be everything for everyone and it just leaves you exhausted in the end? You're trying to make everyone happy, and in reality, maybe ends up being no one's happy. I absolutely love how being this analytical makes me super effective at the work that I do, and I can make decisions quickly and really help support my clients in a way that many other people are not able to do. But in real life, it's like walking a tightrope, trying to balance everyone's emotions and make sure that you can support each person. And like I said, in the end, often it seems like no one's happy. And I guess that's the point. Being overly analytical and really tuned into the needs of others serves me really well at work. It allows me to be super responsive to the needs of my client and help coach and train those that are supporting the client to be responsive to them as well. But in my personal life, it can be overwhelming and exhausting, especially when that same energy and attention isn't reciprocated or the people don't have the same strengths as I do in that area. So if you're like me and you're someone who's always trying to give everything to everyone, super analytical and responsive to the needs of others, not that you need permission from me, but here's permission to take a breath and make sure you're focusing on yourself too. You don't have to solve everything. Sometimes it's okay to let people fend for themselves and figure it out, even though it might feel uncomfortable. It's definitely something I'm learning to do and maybe learning to do for the rest of my life. And I know the more I can practice it, the better I will be at doing it, and the more I will feel less overwhelmed, I hope. And hopefully sharing this with folks helps people who might be going through something similar realize it's okay. I'm also curious to know if anyone's ever found themselves in a situation like this, and if you have any tips for how you handle it. As always, I will continue to cover similar content and a lot of other topics, so if you like this information, feel free to give me a follow.